some of the harder mornings, and just rain, and it's getting on now. It's probably 10 o'clock or later even, and we just can't get ourselves in the mood to pack up and walk in the rain. And how to pack up, that's always the issue when it's raining. There's obviously a method, but it just means everything involves getting wet.
For the fishing, this is all private ground, the whole lot.
Yeah,
all private.
I know, but you're saying there's no camping here because of the COVID?
Yeah, because of the COVID.
Well,
if you listen to me, I'll let you camp.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have any fires.
We're not camping, we're walking John O'Groats to Land's End.
Oh, well.
About £15, is it? It's a beauty. Okay, you can do as you wish, I'll follow you. That's good. Beauty. Oh, they're lovely size, aren't they?
This is a big one.
Yeah. What weight did you reckon? 15 pounds. Beautiful fish.
And they're such fun to catch. Very difficult. So now I have to put it back in the water and get it breathing.
Okay.
For a while to
Okay, the gentleman's going to put it back in the water and get its gills going. You put it into the flow, do you?
Sorry?
Into the flow?
Yeah, well, a little bit, just now, just to...
And you never keep them for the table?
This one is fairly dark in colour, so it's been in the water for a while. It will, when it produces eggs, it will produce maybe 60,000 eggs. And
so it's a good one to release back into the wild, yeah?
Yeah, I think at this time of year, if it's not silver at this size, we'll try and put them back.
Oh, there he goes. She goes. No, still a little bit giddy. There you go. And she's away. Beautiful. Well done. Congratulations. You dropped your spectacles down there as well, don't forget.
And can you trust that you won't blow away in the wind?
It's a wet and grotty morning today, as I said earlier in the tent. But Alan just caught himself a lovely salmon. He's just put it back. It was a big salmon. And Michelle, are we all wet again?
Yeah, we were all dry and now we're all wet.
Oh, bad timing. It is the way of, it's all covered in dribbles again. I spent ages drying that off. I've got to do it again, all because of a salmon. So we camped there last night next to a river, and today is a whole different story. It's wet, it's horrible, it's taken us ages to pack up in the rain. What a horrible day. These are the worst days because it's really hard to keep dry and keep warm when there's quite a wind as well. And not so nice. It's taken us a long time to get organised this morning. I won't be filming much today. You'll get the gist. Walk wet, walk wet, walk wet. Rain, wind occasionally, just to let us know it is raining. So I should film it while we're in it. This is the pretty little town of
Walkerburn.
Oh, Walkerburn. So this is Walkerburn. We're between Peebles and Melrose, but it's a lovely little town. We did get picked up by the gamekeeper, or the guy that runs the fishing along that river, saying that we weren't allowed to camp because of the COVID, which is actually a complete fabrication. So I did quiz him on it, and he sort of reluctantly said, "No, you're welcome to stay." You know. 40 meters at the intersection, turn right onto road. So, you know, you can argue with them or reason with them, but I do get a little tired of people just saying blatant fibs about the COVID. What they really should say is just come up and say, look, what are your plans, you know, with the COVID and social distancing? And then people can engage in a little conversation. If you say they're here and 5 of us are rocking up tomorrow, family members with other tents, then you can say, well, that's not really reasonable or what have you. But, you know, if you engage with people, you generally find out that they're just passing through. There's no need to make up stories. But he was a lovely fella, turned out to be very friendly. So thank you for the stay.
And can you trust that you won't blow away in the wind? Do you tether your hopes?
One of the wetter days we've had for a long time. This is Peebles to Melrose. Oh, we had some of the loveliest days the last week. Very cold. Actually stays warmer, isn't it? At least with the rain. We've had temperatures down to -1 at night, 12 degrees highs in the daytime. But today the weather's changed. What is it, Michelle? End of September?
Yes, sometime.
Into the end, about maybe the 29th of September, somewhere around then. And it's just wet, wet, wet. And we're soaked. Now, you might wonder, with all this wet, why we're still wearing sandals and just ponchos and not waterproofs. And we wonder ourselves sometimes. I mean, it would be nice in a way to have our legs bone dry rather than soaking wet and our feet bone dry. But we were talking about it. If we had waterproofs now, complete waterproof tops and bottoms, waterproof boots and a waterproof hat, if the rain stops, we've got to put all that away somewhere and it's got to dry out. Now, we're not made of paper, as we like to say. You know, the wet's not going to harm us. So Michelle and I feel still, possibly foolishly so, but we're not cold. We're a little bit chilly, but not seriously.
Not cold, just wet, just damp.
Just wet and damp.
But we're wet now.
We're wet. You can't get any wetter. Our legs are absolutely, these trousers are wringing wet, but they can't get any wetter. And if the rain stops for half an hour, they'll be bone dry because they wick away the water so quickly. And you know, we've done nearly 500 miles, maybe even more, of this sort of driving so far. And well, we're good. Now, I've heard people say you'll catch a cold in all that wet. You can't catch a cold in wet. Cold is a virus. It's the same as, it's a type of coronavirus. You have to catch that from a person. It doesn't sort of hang in the air. So you can't catch a cold from being out here. You could get other issues if you got too cold, but we're not too cold. And as I say, we're not made of paper. Are we, Michelle?
We're not made of paper, we're just very damp.
We are made of flesh and bones, and it is a bit soggy. So Michelle and I are looking pretty raggedy in our sort of ponchos, and this lady's come along and she's on the way up. So you've done over two-thirds, I would say, wouldn't you?
I think I'm nearly on about 60%.
Yes.
About 740, 750 miles.
And what was your name?
Sandra.
Sandra. So Sandra's on the way up. So well done to her.
And it has been onwards and upwards.
It has been, hasn't it? It's quite, on days like today, it's quite a hardship.
It's interminable on a day like today.
Eating on the hoof today. It's harder to find a place to sit when it's wet. So we have to eat on the hoof, but we're not walking. If we walk, just place, the food doesn't go down so well. So there's a little leisurely stroll. We'll probably still do a break though, Michelle. I think we'll have a stop, maybe even a little extra, and then we'll just one roll and maybe even a brew.
So we do a brew at the next place, maybe?
Because?
Because?
Why?
We've only had one cup of coffee this morning.
And a coffee.
We want a coffee.
Oh, we want a coffee. We want a hot drink, a sit down, and the rain has pretty much stopped, although there's a bit of mist, sort of wet mist in the air, but hopefully I think it's due to come back. But yeah, anyway, we'll take it as it comes. Sorry, I didn't hear you. It is honey roast ham, mature cheddar cheese, and some lettuce on a soft bat, just in case you wanted to know. It's delicious. Oh, a little salt and pepper. Look at all these black-faced sheep here. Look. They're in lamb, some of them. So, yeah, quite a few of them are pregnant. Beautiful animals. Apparently, they're one of the hardiest sheep up here in Scotland. So, guy told me they called them just black-faced sheep. Not sure if that's the proper name or not, but handsome-looking things. All got horns, even the females. There's a sign coming into this forestry area. It's beautiful. It's from the local forestry commission. It says, if your dog
Goes to the loo and does a poo.
find a stick and flick, because we don't want plastic bags full of poo all over the place. Look at these animals. What is wrong with people? So lucky. Found a little picnic bench. It's all a bit overgrown, but I think I might be getting bitten around the ankles, but it's better than nothing. There's a midgie. You can't see it, not through that lens. But well-earned rest. Long and damp day. Oh, and it's a second mature cheddar cheese, salad, and a little bit of honey roast ham in a soft bath. And then they're gone. We can move on to
We made them up this morning, that's why we're having them.
Yeah, Michelle made them this morning before we set off. So Michelle and I are drying out, having a brew roadside. A big thank you to Cheryl Lassou and Tony O'Malley for the PayPals that we just got. That was really nice after all that horrible rain. Loved you both. Those little videos that we put up are too short to say thank you the way we want to. But really, Cheryl and Tony, thank you very much. And it's warmed us on this cold day. So I said I wouldn't film much today. Michelle and I are in the slightly different pack formation. We got the
Modelling
the poncho come backpack, and there's lots of family pheasants with the youngsters running out ahead of us as we walk. Unfortunately, I missed them, but you can probably see ahead there. You might be able to see with this camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the whole road. Look,
Oh, wow.
the whole road, and there's this field as well, just full of pheasants. So, oh man, there's hundreds of them in this field. Look, there's got to be 30 or 40 pheasants up ahead, which hopefully the camera will pick up. Anyway, it's interesting. We're desperately trying to up our walking rate so we can get to Melrose today. I think we're both feeling a little bit like we are not doing the miles we hoped to do, but we were talking about it practically about weakest links. That doesn't mean either one of us is weaker, but you say you're walking with two equally fit people, and there'll be times, find that there,
Yeah.
big sharp metal piece sticking out the ground. There'll be times when one of you feels really up and go and the other feels a bit less so. And if you're going to go together, you have to travel at the same pace, regardless of whether or not one of you is fitter or equally as fit as each other. So it's interesting. We're just saying that, you know, we may be going slower than some because there are two of us. And when one's feeling a bit, can't be bothered to get up this morning, the other one might want to get up, and vice versa. One might want to walk an extra hour, the other one doesn't, so we stop. If you're walking as a team, that's the way it is. These horrible metal posts that are sticking up. One of them, look, there's another one here, just sticking up. where an old fence has been, but if you stand on one, that's going to hurt. Yeah, so
Well, we were saying we haven't actually seen many teams, have we? It's all single people that we've seen.
yes,
Not that we've seen many, but we've seen a few.
and I think it makes a difference. I think team walking will always be somewhat slower for that reason. Nothing to do with either one of us being less fit than the other, just really law of averages, really. And
I mean, we spur each other on as well.
exactly,
But,
and
you know, and also I was saying the reason because we've been analysing as to why we're not getting the miles that we think we should be getting. We started off completely unfit. We've not really done anything like this before. We've never really put a pack on our back that's been weighted and gone off and walked. So I think to go from 0 to where we are now, there's not many people do that.
no, I think everyone we've met so far has planned this over some time and planned all the gear correctly. I'm not making, this is not an excuse making episode, it's just talking about why we're not getting an average of 20 miles a day and more likely only about 15 miles a day. It's a little bit to do with law of averages. Even if we were both walking fit, I think that would be muddy, dirty, a factor. So remember that if you walk a big walk like this, just relax, enjoy it. Don't worry about the fact that there will be times when you're going slower than the single walker. It just will happen, because they don't ever have to consider a second person when they're walking. A lady was saying to us there's a beautiful walled garden up here which you can't really see, unfortunately. So I'm not sure what the point of telling you for, but look, more pheasant. This little bridge. Did we have to go over that bridge?
She said something about a bridge, but then that doesn't look like a bridge that we can go over.
No.
I don't think we're there yet.
No. So the little bridge, wrought iron bridge, goes from their garden to the walled garden. I'm sure.
Take the next left.
I'm sure that's absolutely beautiful, but we probably shall never know. It's a beautiful garden on a very steep hill. Amazing. Very beautiful. Beautiful part of the world. Pheasant hens. Chickens, young pheasants, look. There's the father. There's a whole bunch of them along this road. So we're next to the river again. It's quite frustrating that the town of Melrose is probably about 5 minutes in a car, and we're probably going to struggle to make it before the sun goes too low. I think we'll get close though, but it is frustrating sometimes when you think how short a distance it is by motor vehicle. So with all these big hills, we come up the hills again, and we're back above the river. And with all the layers on, you get really hot. And you have to stop, take the layers off. And your car coming in there, Michelle. You have to stop and take the layers off, cool down, and drop your bags and get dressed up again. This road is actually the N1 National Cycle Route road. It's quite narrow, and we're walking towards the traffic, so we face it, as you should do. But a lot of, I wouldn't even say young people, it's more middle-aged people, they come around, they treat it like a racing track. They come around the chicanes, hugging the corners as fast as they can. So I have to step out, right out in the road, to catch their attention, and then step back in to slow them down. They look all upset, but it's marked all along this road that it's a national cycle route. So even if we weren't walking it, there could be families out here on bicycles cycling it. Walk from John O'Groats to Land's End or the other way, and you will learn to dislike motorists immensely, or most of them, actually almost all of them. They're just the bane of our life, aren't they, Michelle?
Yep, so we don't like walking on roads, but sometimes you have to. This is a quiet B road, very quiet B road.
Yeah, it's a B100856, a very minor B road, but it's also a well established. The cycle route 1 is well established, and it's marked. People on here are told to be cautious, and they still come round hitting the corners as if they're Sterling Moss in their racing cars, and then look upset when they see hikers on the road.
And make no attempt to slow down.
No
Just
attempt.
slow a little bit.
Even if they see you a long way off. And she's doing a good job. And this one, 2 lovely ladies in their car, both slowed, both gave us a smile and a wave, and that's the way it should be. On my OS maps, the R was slightly obscured, so when I was asking the lady where Pink Hill was, she didn't have a clue. That's possibly why. Rink Hill. The skies, blue skies, Michelle. Rain,
Blue skies at the end of the day.
rained all day, and now we've got some blue sky. Well, some little chinks of blue skies. It's rained all day.
But that's good because when we pack up the tent, it might not be raining.
It might not be. There's a bunch of
Oh yes.
dustpan and brushes in the bushes, and these lovely white ponies. You probably can't even see me. No, I don't think you can. It's too dark. We've rocked up way too late this evening, and we just turn the light on there, maybe. Run out of daylight, really. And we met a couple of guys who said we should camp by the river, but they talked to us for ages and burnt even more of the time. Doesn't take long for us to set up, but we walked a bit late tonight, but because we set off so late and it's been so wet, we're really happy with the spot we're in. Anyway, not much else I can say, really, except for try and stop earlier next time. Who's that knocking? Who's that knocking? Why are you knocking on my tent?
Because you shouldn't be camped here.
Who says?
What do you mean, who says?